Hello, and welcome to Around the Town. I'm your host, Mike Travers, and my special guest tonight is the president of the Kiwanis Club of East Bridgewater, Dale Julius.
Hello.
And I'll say welcome back because you've been on our show quite a few times.
Yes.
And we're glad you keep coming back. We're going to be talking about the pancake breakfast that's coming up, and Dale's going to give us a rundown of what we do to get ready and some of the happenings for that. So we could start just on the size of Kiwanis, the number of members we have.
Yep, we're still doing pretty well. We have close to 70 active members. We're attracting new members. It's always good to get fresh blood coming in and new people with new ideas. But some of our old timers have been there going on, 35, 40, 50 years. We got people that have been there a long time. And that makes the club special.
Sure. So the pancake breakfast, it's going to be Sunday, the 31st of March, in 7 to 12.
Yep.
And where is it going to be?
It's at the Mitchell Middle School, and that's where we've held it for quite a while. Historically speaking, I can't say for sure. I think it's always been there. But so long as I remember it, it's always been there. And it's a good facility, and easy packing. Come on right in, and it's generally it's a great time. It's a great community event. So we invite people. We try to let them know what we're doing down there. But definitely something worth coming down for.
Sure. It's I can't see them moving out. That's such a good facility for us because we get to use the kitchen, all the tables where you eat. There's plenty of parking.
Yep.
The cleanup area and so forth. And we have the lobby where we have the front desk.
Right.
People selling raffles and so forth.
Yep.
I believe you told me that we typically feed about 600 people in the morning.
Yes, it varies, year to year, but 600 is a pretty good average. We've served more, we've served less, and it's nice when we get a crowd like that. I can remember some years people waiting in line all the way out to the lobby, and that's always great to see. But steady is good too.
Sure.
It starts at 7 in the morning, and we get the first rush that comes in, and then we get, a lull here, and then it picks up again, depending on what's going on around town. People get out of church and come out and meet us. So we give them the option, from 7 to 12 is a pretty good span for breakfast.
And the good thing is they get out of church hungry.
That's hopefully we'll feed them.
Sure. I'd like to talk about all the things you do to put the day together, starting with getting the gas and the grills going and so forth.
Yeah. Well, we're very fortunate to have Bruce Meserve has handled us for quite a few years, and his son comes with him, and they just really put it together. They have to run the gas lines, and it's all, again, as a bystander, you don't see this stuff. When I first was coming to a pancake breakfast, I just came through and got my pancakes and sat down and just enjoyed the fellowship of everybody being in the hall. But then as I became a member and started seeing the workings, we're very fortunate to have somebody like Bruce who, just comes in year after year and does the work for us. And then our volunteers, come in to help him set up, and he's like, put that over there, bring this, do this, and he's very good at that. And everything gets put together. We actually go Saturday morning for a couple of hours, and the volunteers from the Kiwanis Club will go down and get everything set up and prepared. And then come Sunday, hopefully everything's ready to be turned on. And even going back before that, there's the ordering of the food. Making sure that the placemats are taken care of and our advertisers are in place. There's the quest for raffle prizes for the raffle tape. So, this stuff doesn't happen just over the weekend. And we have committee members and committees that work on these things year after year. And it's kind of funny because being the president, I don't do a whole lot of that, but I see the committees. And I just depend on them to do what they always do. And it's kind of funny, someone will ask me a question and I'm like, I don't have the answer to that, and check with the committee chairman because they have the thing under control. John Cowan is actually the chairman of the Pancake Breakfast this year. And I was on the line to him today asking them a question. And it's just funny, you know, it's just the way it all comes together, but it comes together because of the work that's going on behind the scenes. And it's greatly appreciated.
You had mentioned the line, excuse me, the line of people waiting used to be much longer, and then we doubled our grill capacity, so that's
Yes.
made the line
Yes.
faster. But I've always noticed that when people come there, they meet people they maybe haven't seen for a year.
Yep.
So it's almost like a homecoming as far as catching up with people while they're in line.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. That's the fun of the day for the town. And, you know, it's a very serious fundraiser for the Kiwanis Club, which, again, that money goes back into the town. So it's kind of a win-win situation. You come out in your town, you support a town, a club, you know, that's a part of the town, and then the money goes back to people in the town. So it's kind of a cool situation. But back to the social aspect of it, you go in there and everybody's talking. People are looking at their placemats. They're talking about the various businesses that have made donations, and it's just a really a lot of fellowship goes on in that room. It's an annual event, and I think people look forward to it every year.
For sure. You had talked about some of the things that are going in the background that people don't see. There's probably as many people in the kitchen and the back areas as they see out front.
Yeah. Yeah, well, behind it, when you come in, if you haven't been before, you know, you're going to come through the lobby. There'll be raffle tables there. There'll be a Kiwanis welcome table for anyone who's interested in Kiwanis and might want to join us. And then you come into the line, and once you're in the line, there's entertainment going on, which we'll talk about. And you come through and you see a line of Kiwanians serving the breakfast. And the breakfast, of course, consists of, let's make sure I get this right, we got pancakes, of course, toast, eggs, coffee, juice. Am I forgetting anything?
Yes.
What?
Some comes in a long strip.
Oh, bacon.
Yes. You've got to have the bacon.
How could we forget the bacon?
Yeah.
So it's a great meal, and people will see that, but what they don't see is in the kitchen there at the school, we've got a whole team cooking the bacon. You got a team that's back there making sure that the coffee's coming out fresh, the coffee's perked in the back room, and then we bring it out front. And we have, of course, the people out front serving this stuff. But a lot of the work is going on in the back. The pancakes are actually cooked right in front of you, so you know your pancakes are fresh because they're cooking them right out front.
Sure.
But you do have people from the school, that come and help us out. But you got these Kiwanians all across the back, and there's a lot going on. We have somebody sitting at the coffee station. We make sure that that's fresh and make sure the milk and cream and sugar are there. And we have in the cleanup area, we got a whole crew taking the trays and washing them consistently so that we get them right back online again. So it's a very well-oiled machine.
Yeah. And the fact that they're cooking right there, you can have pancakes the way you like them. You can have the eggs the way you like them, and so forth.
Yep.
You don't see too many kids having the eggs. They just love the pancakes.
Love pancakes.
Yeah, they do. You mentioned the lobby. Why don't we start at the front door or even in the parking lot, because there's something out in the parking lot as well, because we collect for the two food pantries in East Bridgewater.
Correct. We have had very good luck with that over the years. It's not as old as the pancake breakfast, but we do have volunteers that come in, and Joel Thomas is the one who brings the truck and the trailer and stuff. We ask people when they're coming to the pancake breakfast if they would bring a food item to be donated to our two local food pantries. One goes, of course, to St. John's, to their food pantry, and then the other one goes up to the Congregational Church, the Union Congo Church on Pleasant Street. And both of those organizations do such a wonderful job, and the Kiwanis supports them. You know, we really support them because it's a wonderful thing they do, and the need is great. So we ask people if they're coming to the pancake breakfast to bring a food item. And we've talked about items. I think you can go online and find what's recommended for food pantries. I know peanut butter is a big thing. If you've got a squash mix or something like that you've had for 6 years, that probably isn't going to cut it at the food pantry. But if you got something, fresh canned goods, things that aren't opened. There's a variety of things, but the list is long.
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure if you go online, you can get recommendations of what is a good item to bring.
Mm-hmm. Just before the show, the director said that he was going to put that list on the screen for people.
Oh, great. Okay.
I have a copy here, but we won't read it through, but there's an awful lot there. One of the important things, though, is to remind people that they have to be packaged for individuals, and
Right.
they have to be sealed. So if somebody brings a package of 24 rolls of something, like paper goods or something,
Right.
we can't hand those out at the food pantry, so they do have to be
Right.
in individual
Okay.
packaging, and they have to be sealed.
Okay.
Yeah. When you look at the trailer out in the parking lot at the end of the day, it's just overwhelming how much people give too.
They do. They do.
We have people that come and they're not even coming in to eat, but they swing through and they bring some foodstuffs
Yep.
to leave in the trailer.
Yeah, it's very important, and you know, seeing it year after year, it feels good to give. It really does. It's a good feeling to know this is going to go somewhere to help someone who's not as fortunate right now, maybe on tough times, and needs a little boost. And it just seeing that truck go out of there, and again, we're cleaning up the school and cleaning up the kitchen. But while we're doing that, another crew of Kiwanians are jumping in that truck, and they're going to the food pantries and, hand delivering the food to the food pantries. So that's just another aspect of it that's become a big part of our pancake breakfast.
Sure, and they also divide everything sort of 50-50 for each
Yep.
of the food pantries, so they have to do that before they even
Yes.
go to the food
Yep.
pantry. So
Yep.
that's quite a bit of work.
Yeah.
So then, once you've gotten through there, and hopefully you do bring a food item to it, get into the lobby, and there's a couple of things going on in the lobby, if you want to talk about that.
Well, like I said, there's always a welcome table, where we collect tickets and so on, and it's information about Kiwanis. There's information if you want to join, if you want to donate, if you want to help. There's many things you can volunteer for. Becoming a member, if you've come to that point in your life where you want to, commit to the time and become a member, would be more than happy to have you on board. So that information is there. And then also will be our raffle table, which is a big item, and people are, while they're waiting in line, they buy their tickets, and the tickets are put into individual, I'm not sure what they call it. They've got bags, so you pick which one you want to try for. And again, it's a lot of fun. People that come later in the morning, towards the time we're finishing, they generally sit around and have their cup of coffee and, wait for their winning ticket. That makes for a lot of fun too.
Sure. A couple of things that you had mentioned before the show is scratch tickets, the Red Sox tickets we've had in the past.
Yep.
Are very popular.
Very popular.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, and we'll come back after PSA.
Okay, Josh, do your stuff.
Okay, people, you know the drill. Canned foods only, guys.
Sometimes you gotta live what you believe, open your arms, 'cause that's where it starts. Right here with you and with me. What the world needs now is love.
Generosity, pass it on.
A little help from up above. Fit to me.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Hello, and welcome back. This is Around the Town with Mike Travers, and I'm your host, Mike Travers, of course. And my guest today is the president of the Kiwanis East Bridgewater, Dale Julius. Dale, we were talking just before the break that we were talking about things going on in the lobby, and I'd like to stay with that for a little bit more about the donations and so forth.
Right. The raffle is a big item, and we always enjoy, like I said, when people stay, towards the end, and they actually get to see the raffles being picked. So that's kind of a fun event. And if they're not picked, you don't have to be there for the raffle prizes. But we do ask if anybody wishes to donate a raffle item. Anything we'll do, handicraft things. I know also cash, scratch tickets, anything that goes towards this. helps us to raise more money in the raffle. And again, the more money we raise there, you know, it goes towards the total funding for the day. And anything that we raise goes right back into charity. So it's a lot of fun, and it's more fun if we have more prizes. So if anybody's willing, any businesses want to, you know, give a donation, that would be great. Over the years, we've had some great donations. We've had, you know, sports teams. We've had memorabilia, baseball signed by Babe Ruth. No, we haven't gone back that far. But we've had, you know, some nice memorabilia, and it's a nice thing. So if anybody out there wants to donate, get a hold of us here at Kiwanis, and we'll take your donations anytime. That'd be appreciated.
Funny you mentioned baseball. I have a baseball that I got from the Brockton Rocks, Oil Can Boyd,
Oh, yeah.
and he signed it.
There you go.
And he was a character.
Yes, he
Everybody
was.
enjoyed watching him.
Yeah.
So, as we mentioned, you can pay once you get at the door. You don't have to do that. But how about the price of the tickets?
Yes, it's $5 for this incredible meal, and you just can't do any better anywhere around. So $5 gets you the meal, and on top of that, even better, is we have the special family rate of $15, which gives you 2 adults and 2 children, and $15 to bring out a family of 4. I mean, we're starting to talk like we should be inundated with people rushing in the doors there at that rate. So now that's the price we've had. You know, well worth it, and we're able to raise some pretty good money. We just need people to come on down and have breakfast with us.
Sure. And you mentioned cash. People may want to donate. They don't have to have an item for the drawing or a can of food. They can just come in, and we'll be glad to take cash too.
Absolutely. Cash is king.
And as you say, people can talk to the people in the lobby about what Kiwanis does and what they might do with Kiwanis, and
Right.
how they can visit our meetings that we have on
Absolutely.
Thursdays.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And let me see. As people eat, they'll see placemats with advertising on it.
Correct.
And those are some of our businesses and families sometimes that
Yep.
pay to have their
Yeah.
business on the placemat.
This is something that we ask people while they're eating to take a minute and look at the placemat and see the various businesses and individuals and politicians and, you know, whoever has taken the time to take a space. And always, you know, trade local. If somebody's on there, they care about the community. So
Sure.
that's what the placemat's there for.
And Kiwanis couldn't survive not only with their volunteers in their membership, but the businesses that do support us. The banks are big supporters.
Yes.
And some of the other businesses.
Right.
So we always hope that people will show their appreciation by shopping local.
There you go. Exactly. Let's not
Interest-
forget the entertainment.
Okay.
I wanted to say that while we're eating and reading your placemat, we're going to have music. We have a DJ this year who's a member of the club, Tom Kerrigan, and Tom has been doing it now for a few years, and he's putting on music. I won't call it dinner music. I don't know, is there such a thing as breakfast music? But just to have a little background and make announcements as the day goes on. So he will be there. And even though Easter is a little further down the line, Easter is very late this year, we should be having an appearance by the Easter Bunny, as we've had over the years, to visit with the children that come to visit us. So we can look for that. So there's your entertainment. You can read a placemat, listen to Tom Kerrigan spin some old good music, and watch for the Easter Bunny to be wandering through the crowd.
Sure. And people can take a clean placemat home with them, so they'll have that information as well. They don't have to take the one with the syrup on it.
Absolutely.
Sure. One thing you don't want to make the mistake is if you're near Tom Kerrigan, say, today's my birthday, because he's going to embarrass you over the loudspeaker
I'm
system
sure he
that
will.
he has. Let's talk about some of the things that Kiwanis does during the year besides the pancake breakfast, because they do have a lot of activities.
Yeah, I've found, again, and again, being the president this year, I've just had a great time. It's a commitment as a president where you have to be the incoming president and for a year, and then you're vice president for a year, and being a member on the board of directors and so on. So you see the inner workings of the club, and when you come in, all of a sudden you see how much work goes on. And you're sitting there and you know, you're not really ready for it. But the busy time, of course, comes when we do our Christmas on the Common. That's one of our very big events, and we sell Christmas trees. And that all just happens right away. So that's a pretty big time, you know, and everybody's on deck for that one. And just prior to that, we do a Field of Flags now that has been very, very successful as a tribute to our veterans, to our soldiers, you know, over the years. And Chuck Horan has taken that and worked with the Fisher House in Boston as a donation to them, but also, again, a donation back into the town. And we do a lot of work with the veterans here in East Bridgewater. So we have the Field of Flags, then Christmas on the Common. And then in will come your pancake breakfast, and these are all fundraisers for the club, of course. And then in the summer we do a golf tournament, which is a lot of work, too, and that's over the summer when we're not quite as active, but it gives our many golfers in the club a chance to participate in other clubs around town, you know, join us for a nice afternoon, it's a whole day of golf. And so that's something, again, another fundraiser. And we have other activities, you know, our scholarship committee's getting ready to meet, you know, and we're going to be deciding, you know, who's going to get scholarships for the town. And of course, that's the other end of it. That's where we're giving away money. And through the year we meet and we decide, you know, what charities we're going to work with and help out. So it's a very busy club. Did I leave anything out?
No, I don't think
sure I
so.
probably
Just
did, but,
one of my favorites, though, is the Fisher House.
Yeah.
And we've had a visit of the lady that runs the area around here, the region.
Yeah.
And one of the things I really like about the Fisher House is that and I was in the military, when somebody's in the hospital, away from home or something, they make it possible for the families to come and be with the patient. And they've even had spouses of service people that they took care of as well.
Yes.
It's quite an organization.
It is, and it's we're very happy to have worked with them, and they've worked with us very closely. Jen DeLuca is our contact person, and she's just very, very happy with the Kiwanis Club of East Bridgewater, and we're very happy with the work she does. So, you know, one hand washes the other.
Sure.
Yeah.
And going back to the Christmas tree sales, if someone wants to volunteer, they certainly don't have to be a member of Kiwanis.
Absolutely.
But they can come by and work for 2 or 3 hours would be a big help.
Yeah, we've had a coalition with the Boy Scout troops here in town. I think possibly some Girl Scout troops or maybe a venture crew. We've had people here from the studio that have come, some of the school groups over the years, some of our sports teams. You know, whoever works with us, you know, we work with them. Again, it's that, you know, one hand washes the other, and we, you know, it's nice working with different people in the town. We actually had one of our scoutmasters who worked with us this year selling Christmas trees, and so far as I know, he's about to become a member of the club, and that's great. That's what you do. You meet people, you work with them, and they say, hey, I'd like to become a member of this club.
One of the things that really went well this year was Christmas on the Common. The craft show was a huge success.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and again, that's another whole part of the Christmas on the Common, which just started as a Christmas celebration, you know, decorating up the Common and so on, and it's become so much more than that. It's entertainment, it's a craft show, it's the lighting of the tree beforehand, it's selling the Christmas trees uptown, and it's just becomes this whole Christmas spirit in the town. And the craft show, again, is really taken off. We've had people over the years that have worked on it. Albert Anderson, who's the incoming president, who, if you remember our appearance a few months ago for the Christmas on the Common, he ran the craft show and did it the first year that he was in charge of it. And I think he's stuck with it now for a while. When you do good at something.
Sure. And he did a great thing, I believe you were involved as well, is the trees that he brought up north to the people that...
To the town of Lawrence.
Yes.
Yeah, he came up with that idea, he and Charlie Muse, and they were kind of I've been being teased about it because I'm the one that winds up with my picture in the paper, but it was the two of them came up with the idea, and they brought a couple dozen trees up to some of the families in Lawrence, and they were very appreciative up there. And again, it's just, it feels good. It feels good to do good things.
Yeah.
And you know.
And they were very grateful up there because it was after the power. Everyone lost power, and the last thing that was on their mind was going out and get a tree. Christmas was creeping up on them, so
Absolutely.
they really appreciated that.
Yep.
One of the things that I find all the time, though, is how much our volunteers are there. And we've got, as you mentioned, about 70 members, and some of them married couples.
Yep.
We've had a parent and a child in it.
Sure.
I guess one of the fun things is when we have our meetings, there's a little banter going on for a lot of fun, so forth. And sometimes that's between spouses as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, we've had, you know, when the club started, it was in the day when it was basically thought of as a men's club. And you know, that's just the way things were. The club has been around now, I believe, this 70th year. I better get that right. And it's just the way that it was, you know. 70 years ago, it was a men's club. And then it was only in recent history. Joanne Meserve Coles became our first female member, and then she went on to become the first president, and she went on to become a district governor. So, and since then, you know, we've had a lot of women in the club, and at this point in time, my daughter and my wife are both members, Carol and Hannah. We have brothers and sisters, we have fathers and sons, fathers and daughters. So it's a family thing, and some of the founding members, their sons are still members of the club. So it's kind of it's a club that's uniquely East Bridgewater, and a lot of history there.
Yeah. You mentioned it goes back about 70 years, which is surprising because I've heard a couple of times that you were one of the founding members. Is that true? Or do you want to kill that rumor now?
Not quite, but I did play Little League against the Kiwanis Little League team. I was on the commercial club Little League team. And I always remembered the Kiwanis. I said, what is a Kiwanis? You know, we were on, and these same teams were named after, you know, Forney Oil, Town Cleaners.
Sure.
You know, these were the people in town that were in Kiwanis, and it's kind of a funny thing that now, this many years later,
sure.
I'm involved with the Kiwanis, and I remember that name from Little League. That's the first time I remember it.
Well, we could go on and on, but we're about out of time. If you just want to give the date and time again for the pancake breakfast.
Yes, it's on March 31st. We are closing up the month of March. We're going to be into spring type weather, I'm hoping, by then. And it's at 7 in the morning till noon time. So come anytime and bring some food for our food pantries, and bring your appetite, bring your family, bring your friends. These make great gifts. You can buy tickets for your whole family and bring them on down.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to thank people for watching the show. And again, if you would just patronize the people that help us out financially and with donations, and the people that take placemat advertising. Again, we'd appreciate your shopping local. I'm Mike Travers, and this is Around the Town.